Hello folks, we're here. Actually, I'm a little informal today. We've had a little bit of a picnic, different folks through. We've had horses here. We put a first saddle on one this morning for fun. And we figured it might be a logical time to put the first ride on this filly we call Josie. She's a 3-year-old. She actually is a year later than I typically start them, but she had had some eye issues that sort of made last year her red shirt year. So I also have some issues. I just had a shoulder surgery about 4 months ago. I was told not to ride for 6 months. That wasn't gonna happen, so I'm riding a good bit, but I'm not gonna get on a colt for the first time. So that's where Melanie comes into the role. Melanie's 15. She started her own filly last year. She's been abused by me for the last year, so she has an idea what the program is, and she's not afraid to get on. And I'm hoping that there's no reason for her to be afraid to get on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move this filly around a little bit just to make sure she's moving free and isn't girth bound or anything. Then I will probably have Melanie step on from the muck bucket so we're not prying on the saddle at all. Keep this as low key as we can, and then we'll ride her around if everything goes according to plan. Josie, go on out. I know you like to hang out. Time to go on. Go on. So she's been saddled for a little while and should be loosened up. But I just want to make sure she's moving off freely, that she's not troubled. There are more people and other horses and trucks and trailers and so forth here than she's used to seeing. Let's see if we can turn her. So she's a little fresh, and that's fine. We also have her cinched down pretty tight because she doesn't have much with her. And you can see she's moving just a little tight. So we'll get that sort of dolphin look out of her, because we don't want her doing the, like flipper when we go to riding her. See if I can get her to stop. Ow. So as long as she's a little swirly like that, there you go. It's gonna keep moving her around if she wanted to be that fresh. So let's see if we can just walk off. Can you do that? Go on through. I know you want to come visit. She's been saddled multiple times. She's been sacked out. We've sort of pulled on the stirrups, slammed the stirrups around, flexed her head. Got a little rope hackamore on her that's soft and pretty unobjectionable, and she's used to that as well. So really the only new thing we add is a human being on her back. And even then, I'm gonna keep most of the controls in here at the center. Just let Melanie be a passenger this time as much as anything. See if she'll trot off. Okay, girlie. Rider's up. Why don't you come on in? Who are you gonna go to? See, she came to me. That's so good for my ego. So, one thing we're putting on Melanie is a helmet. I know there are all kinds of great helmet debates out there, but I would never argue against one, particularly any person, but particularly a young person putting the first ride on a horse. I would hesitate to be the guy who said, oh, come on, you don't need a helmet. I hope she doesn't need a helmet, but plan B is never a bad thing to have in place. I'll just sort of swirl her around here. We'll get her. So she's familiar with coming up to the muck bucket. And that isn't much of a process, frankly. I just sort of position them and they get pretty agreeable about it. The only cheat that I'm going to do, are you fastened?
I think so.
Or are you just strapping your head on?
Could be both.
So I'm going to cheat for you and just hold her while you get on.
Okay.
Why not? If you want to put your foot up there and give a little pressure in the stirrup. Now step down. Now one more time. Step down. And this time step up in the stirrup and swing your leg across. You must trust me because you weren't holding the reins. She went, I don't know whether was she didn't trust me or whether she was just admitting she wasn't holding the reins. So you don't want to grip her head, but you want to be able to get to her if she would spurt forward, which I don't think she's going to do. If you need to take her head away and yield her hindquarters, that's okay. But if we can, I'd love to just treat you like a crash test dummy and sort of lunge her around with somebody on her back. Even up your reins a little bit. And the first couple of steps is where they tend to be unsure. So be ready, be ready. She's gaining a little bit of speed. That was the right, perfect move. Just tip her nose a little bit to the left. And I'm going to start her up. Not quite the way that you might think, but now she pointed the right direction. Keep her head around a little. I'm just going to let her. I want to see her move her front legs, and then we're okay. There we go. And see if you can point her back out there toward the fence. Yeah. Even those reins up. Keep a leg on each side and your mind in the middle. And if she came through the center or whatever, don't worry too much about where she goes. I'm going to keep her from going too far off track, but big thing is just to get her moving forward, get her used to the idea that you're not some sort of alien creature that touched down on her back. Now let's tip her nose to the left. Good. Good release. That was perfect. So what you need to do is whatever it takes to be safe and not much more. We got some folks sitting alongside the pen. We've got our camera set up on the back of a pickup, and she's okay with all of that. In fact, she's stopping to visit with Melanie's mom to tell her that her little girl is just fine, that the prognosis is good. Now tip her nose to the right. I'm going to help her come through, help her come through, help her come through. Go on. There you go. Good. I like that faster walk. That's the beginning of the next thing we'll do, but we don't have to do it right now. Tip her nose to the left. Tip her nose to the right. So what we're doing is assisting her to learn what it means when that hackamore rope directs her. And let's see what she does if we jog her. Now, if she gets it all troubled, just take her head around, she should stop. There you go. See, and she's a little bit irregular and uncertain, which is absolutely understandable. She's reacting to me, which I'm fine with. I don't want her overreacting to me. And Melanie's just sitting up there. Now go ahead, if you're comfortable, start rubbing her with one hand. Be ready to use that hand, but I don't want her to forget you're up there. Because when she realizes you are again, it might be a rude awakening for both of you. Now be brave and reach back and rub behind the saddle a little. There you go. Now just compress the right rein, the one toward the fence, just a little. There you go. And she stopped, but she faced up because I was part of the equation. That's fine, that's her trying to be good. She says, can I please come in and end this whole deal? Well, you should be having some fun, Josie. It's a picnic. I think I got to fool him with my whip a little more than I realized. She looks like a ranch horse, traveling out across. Got her ears up, got a smile on her face. So the first time you ride them, you got an idea if they're going to be a riding horse. Is she? So far so good, right? Now compress that left rein. Good. Good. So what we're doing is, she knows to stop with me, but we're integrating the use of the rein a little bit and stopping her. Yeah, just rub on her, just like you're a big massage machine. Come on, Joes. I know you want to come in the worst way. Okay, tip her back to the right and we'll head over to the fence. I'm going to pick her up to a trot. Now pick up on that left rein and let's make a nice little circle back the other way. Pick up on that rein and see if she can keep trotting. It's not a big deal, but not a big deal, but it'd be interesting to see if she could maybe manage to trot the whole way around that little reversal. So use as much of the pen as you need to. Tip her nose a little. And she's getting the idea. When you take a hold of her face, she tends to slow down. Overall, I like that. I'd rather have them do that than bull on through. And I goosed her without meaning to. She's a lot more sensitive than meets the eye. So compress that left rein. Just ride her up a couple of steps. Good. Now pick a spot there, maybe with her tail not facing the fence, and we're going to see if we can back her up just a tiny bit. Pick up on her face. Good, enough. Do it again. Good. Pick up one more time, see if she'll back up a step or two. Excellent. That time I did nothing, she did everything. You helped her, didn't get in her way. Okay, that's our first ride. That's all we got to do. You can swing off of her, drag your leg across her backside when you get off.
Okay.
There you go. So pretty nice little old horse. Nice job by Melanie. And all I had to do is stand in the center and talk a whole lot, which is what I like to do most. So that's the first ride that went about like I like them to. Didn't try to get greedy and do too much. Could we eloped her? Yeah, I think we could have. But there's always a chance that might have been a bridge too far. So she'll be ready to elope soon enough, and she'll be comfortable with it, and we'll ask her that question about eloping when we know she's going to say yes. So that's what we got. I like what we did. I hope you did too.